Hey, welcome back to the table. Let's get this battle out of the way. So, anytime you open the main room, a couple of things happen. The first one is they stop scoring points every time it's their turn. So that part's good. The other part is we have to roll a die to see, because they get an automatic spawn. We already did the die that there wasn't an additional spawn, right? We rolled the die that it was the power die, not the encounter. We already know that we have won the initiative, and so we're going to add 2 to this because we always add +2 now. So it's going to be 3 great spiders again, which that part I'm okay with because those weren't too bad. They run away. I got to remember that and quit doing it the wrong way. Oh, it's not 3 giant spiders, it's 3 great spiders. A great spider is, oh yeah, the smaller ones. The terminology is confusing me. Giant is worse than great, and so that's fine. Now, you're not hearing it because I pulled out the card before before I hit record, but this is the boss. He's a giant. He has 40 hit points, and we're not even done yet because we gotta deal with his reserve here. So I'm flipping back over to the app here. He spends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the spawns. So he only has 2 reserve left. I'm sorry, because we cut it down. We reduce it until he has 10. Okay, so we have to reduce his reserve until he has 10, and that's only 2 points that we reduced. So for every 2 points that we reduce, he gets +1 health. So here you can see the plus sign doesn't work, but you can always just double click. And so he has 41 health. So not a lot was added because he did spend a lot of his points. And had I appropriately added the power stuff, before, because I kept forgetting to roll the die, I guarantee you he wouldn't even have had that +1 health. He would have been much, much lower. So there is 10 reserve, which all that means is that when we roll the power die, he has 10 more points still that he can spend on cards to enhance these people. The giant is, of course, as you may have guessed, extra large. He is a giant, of course. He has an improvised weapon, and he may have a leather armor for an extra 10 VP. So he rolls 1 die for every hero, and I don't remember what that does. I think this is determining how many VP points he can spend. So he can get leather armor for an extra 10 VP. So he will. We rolled enough points here. It's a 6, 6, 4, 3, and 2. So I'm going to spend all of the VP. He's down to 0 now, and he has leather armor. And the leather armor, of course, makes his armor go to a 5 instead of a 4. So we're going up against the guy who has 5 armor. When he hits you, he's going to roll 10 damage dice. He's huge. He's fearsome. He sweeps. He's staggering. He rock throws. And he's going to attack 3 times because we have 3 on our because of the number of heroes. And he is considered huge. Smaller size enemies hit by him always get a -1 to their armor. Attacks from this creature always breaks ordinary shields that block. And so basically I don't want to block with my shields, or otherwise he's going to break my shield. And it's fearsome, and it reduces your roll by 1 if you're smaller, which of course we all are. Just remembering everything that this guy has is this is worse than Sword and Sorcery. Okay, and we know what the great spiders have. I just have to remember that they run away. Okay, let's do this. The great spider is the only thing that spawns, which is good. I have to get another AI card. This one is for large and huge creatures. So as soon as it's placed, roll 1d6 for each hero to determine the extra skills it gets. So we put in the leather armor, and that spent all of its points. And then he rolls a 1d6, and then he has these different priorities. So we'll deal with that when we get to him. Okay. Then for the enemies, Fantastic Insects was the enemy. It's not giant spider, it's great spider. 1, 2, 3. And they would go here. And then to the right. And then to the right. That's what it looks like. Okay, we go first. I don't think there's any treasure chests or anything in here to concern ourselves with. I don't think the giant has any magic items that we're going to get to loot when we kill him. The one thing that bothers me is, like, this guy has an action called grab and eat, rock throwing. When's he going to do any of those things? Because unless the AI card is telling us to have him do those things, he won't. I think this is where, like, if a player was actually controlling this character, that they might choose to do those things. Or the scenario would have to tell us, and it doesn't. And so there's a lot of his skills are not even being used. Maybe they're crappy skills. I mean, maybe they shouldn't be used, but that's, I guess, neither here nor there. We get to go first. Obviously, we want to take out these little spiders as soon as we can. Nobody can engage this guy because he's bigger than us. So we do get a +1 in our ability to hit him with arrows. So I can't, like, have the paladin engage him and protect everybody else. It's just not going to work. We could try to get behind him. I'm not sure what good that's going to do. But yeah, this whole thing is a cluster. Now, he did design this tile where, like, if you can get back here, somebody could actually stand guard, and then all the archers can be up on the hill and shoot at him without worrying about getting hit because the person who's standing guard is here. We don't have that luxury. We could stand guard here and then put all of our guys up here to shoot. Again, I don't really have much of a luxury. So we do go first, and I'm going to choose to go first with the wizard. And let's get our elemental in the game. So I rolled a 5, which is enough. The elemental is going to join us. So I'm going to spend some mana here. And let's see if we can find it here. This app, well, and this computer's old, so it's very unresponsive. Let's put it that way. And the keyboard sticks. It works just fine for recording, but of course it's not finding anything. So which one would it fall under, do you think? Water elemental. Right here, elementals and genies. There, we just spawned one. And it would be, he takes up the whole area. There's not even room for him. So what do? I think I'm just gonna use that little arrow to point that he's there right now. So we just spawned a big water elemental that can't even fit in the corridor. Maybe we'll make sure everybody moves out of the way. So let's try, well, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna get our barbarian up and let's roll. 7. Spiders, rolled a 9. They actually tied, and he loses. because his agility is lower than theirs. So then we got Paladin, 1, 2, 3. Remember, the spiders are small, so you can run by them. 4, 5. Nope, I'm just going to stop here. I'm going to face this way, and then we're going to roll. 5 to there. 5. So we hit. And the Paladin rolls 4, 5 dice. 1, 2, 3 hits on the spider. One health left. All right, we got the lion still. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move the lion out. Attack that way. And of course I rolled with the lion and now I gotta, okay, we rolled a 7 to an 8. The lion hits. The lion rolls how much does the lion roll? 5. That's 2 hits. And then we have our archer. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then stop. Hammer time. Then we're gonna roll and see if we can hit this spider that's straight in front of us. I do get a -1, but that doesn't matter. That's a big hit on the spider. We're gonna roll our 4 dice. 1 hit was all we needed. Spider is dead. That is 1 point for the home team. Then 1 more because we summoned the water elemental. So we're up to 18. And the water elemental, by the way, is going to be in for 3 turns. It would have been 4, but it's -1. And I guess I stopped my archer right where the water elemental would have been. So I still don't know what to do about that. I'm sure there's something in the rules, so let's go see what the rules say. Okay, so I could not find in the rule, well, first of all, for huge creatures, they move as if they're on a single space, but then they have to finish their move somewhere like this where all 4 spaces are available. So if he does his movement, he can move like 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4, but then he has to like finish his move like there. I know there's a lion underneath him, but that's the way it's supposed to work. The problem is we summon them, and they're supposed to summon next to you. So this space was taken, and so was this one. Like there's no place next to him that I could have summoned him. So one argument you can make is that I wasn't able to summon him at all. The other one is I'm just going to say that those other 2 guys took their turn first, and he summoned here. That's how I'm going to play it. So that way it's resolved. And so yeah, when he takes his turn, he can move 1, 2, 3 and get into there. But with this lion being right here, I know the graphics are screwed up. We could pick something else. There we go. That looks like a lion. Let's use that. There. So now it at least looks like a lion, and it's not so transparent all the time. Okay, so that lion there, he's in the way, is what I'm getting at. Because you got these 2. Oh, yeah, that's explaining the red lines. That's fine. These 2 are blocking these 2 spots, so I would need the lion to move, but then I'd have 4 spots here so he can move up and sneak in. I basically want our water elemental to go up against this giant. That's ultimately what we want to do. All right, so we did our archer. All we have left is our hobbit, and I am going to move the hobbit in, and this is probably a stupid move, but we need all hands on deck here, and we're going to go ahead and attack. 7, to 6. They had 3, we had 4. We actually hit them. So we're going to roll 2. And we do 1 damage. So that wasn't bad. We actually reduced his armor by 1 too. So anyways, that's okay. I think that's everybody. So now we're going to end our turn. And it's their turn. So they go after who has the lowest armor, which is actually, they're tied. So lowest health, this guy is going to attack a hobbit, and so will this one. This is the part where I may not have made a good choice. So the first roll's an 8. I rolled a 7. We actually win that one. This one, he rolled a 7. We rolled a 10. Oh, we blocked both. See, that +1 that the barbarian gave him is actually pretty good. I'm not saying it's awesome. It's just pretty good. Okay, now we got this giant dude. And he moves 8 spaces. Holy buckets. Okay. So he's going to move to here. That's the only place he can sit. And he will attack the paladin, because really there's no other place for him to go. So he's going to roll his 2 dice. Oh, he real critically failed. Oh, let's look at this. So he's using an improvised weapon that does 10 damage dice. On a blunder, it breaks on a 1 through 6. Oh! He has no weapon. His weapon is gone. What is it? Oh. So I know he has to attack with like his fist or something. Oh my goodness. That is never going to happen again. So if you're doing an unarmed attack, oh, it's your strength. Well, his strength is 10. Oh my goodness. So it'll be strength -1. So now he's going to roll 9 dice instead of 10 because he's going to use his fist. It's still wonderful that he that he failed there. His weapon is broken. All right, so okay. Here's attack number 1. Oh, that was attack number 1, so we blocked that one. This is attack number 2. He rolled a 6. Now, he rolled a 6 and he adds 3 for 9. We rolled a 4 and we had 5 for 9. And our agility is, or we have a shield. So we win the tie because we have a shield. So that's not a hit. So now he's going to try a 3rd time. He rolled a 5. We rolled a 7. Oh, and because he's unarmed, he gets a -1 to his to hit. So that's where the -1 is. So yeah, so we would have, there wasn't even a tie that last time. Okay, giant attacked 3 times. He missed all 3 times. Let's get busy. We got to do, oh, it was their turn. So they would have rolled a die and they did not get the power thing. But their reserve is 0 points, so they can't draw cards anyways. So we're good there. Okay, we need to make room for this elemental to get in here. So that's step 1. So we basically got to get out of the way for the elemental. So our lion here, we're going to go ahead and attack in front of us. So we're going to roll our 2 dice. And then, of course, it's all the way down there. He got a 9 to a 5. That works. We're going to roll 5 damage dice. And boom, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So this one's dead. And we score another point. We're up to 19. And so then that allows us to move out of the way here. So the barbarian is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to get behind this thing Doesn't get the behind attack, but he's just moving back there. And remember, he can do that because it's a small spider, so the spider doesn't engage him. And so he rolls a 7, and it's also engaged by other people. So he rolled a 7. The Dark Lord will roll a 10. He adds 5, so he's at 12. He misses. So then the Paladin will get out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then we're going to roll a 4, which is probably not going to cut the mustard. Nope. So we miss. Hobbit's going to go ahead and roll. Rolled a 6 to an 8. He got an 11. We got a 10. We all missed. That spider is still alive. And then my archer is going to go 1, 2, 3. Face this way, and we're going to shoot. 1, 2. Should we shoot that? I'm not shooting the spider. I'm going to stay right where I am. And I'm going to shoot this giant oaf. So let's do it. So there's a 10, and we get a +1 because he's a large target. And then we get to roll 4 dice. And he's got 5 armor, I think we said. Yep. So we did 1 whopping hit to this guy. He's down to 40. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And face him. Okay, so the water elemental has this onslaught. It will roll agility against an enemy in case if the attacker wins, the target will be knocked down and take as many damage dice as the attacker's strength. Increase the target's armor by +1. So it'd be a 6. And if you move through difficult terrain at any time, it can't be done. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do regular attack with the elemental. We forgot with the Paladin. Paladin needed to do a courage check. Okay, then at the start of her turn, she failed, so she's stunned. Still would have been able to move just fine. We're okay there. She ended up missing her attack anyways, but she's stunned. Okay, water elemental. Why is this guy so good? Well, he is large. The other one's huge, so it's even bigger. He's invulnerable. Has no rear. Yeah, let's just attack. So his dice we rolled a 6 to a 10. We get to add 4. He adds 3. Yeah, the water elemental missed. 2 turns left for the water elemental. And that's the end of our turn. So it's his turn. Just so I can get into the habit, I'm rolling to die, even though it doesn't do anything. The spider will attack. It's actually going to attack the great cat. It has the least amount of armor. So he rolls a 5. We beat the spider back. Then the giant is going to roll. I wish there was a way to roll 4 dice. 2 black, 2 white, all in one roll. This part's annoying. Okay, so the giant is going to attack for a 7. And we have a 9. So we block the first one. Here's our second one. We block that one. And there's the third one. 7 to 5, 10 to 9. Okay, so he hits. What does invulnerable mean? I know it means something. I think it means they don't take normal hits, or creatures with this skill don't take any damage from attacks made with melee or archery, except in the case of a critical hit. So he rolled a 4 and a 3, so there's no critical hit there. So he would have needed to roll a 6 in his attack, which he didn't. So we don't even roll for damage dice. He's just invulnerable. I missed that, by the way, the last time the water elemental was involved. Okay, so it's our turn. We're going to go ahead and attack here. Water elemental will go first. We got a 5. He got a 12. Jesus. Okay, there's no hits there. Let's do the Hobbit. 8 to 10, we hit. We're going to roll 2 dice. That 4 kills it. So that's another point. We're 1 point down, and that's doing great. So the lion, 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as he engages, I actually think this is difficult terrain. So we're going to go 2, 4, 6, 8. Like that. Well, we'll do it that way, and then we'll go ahead and attack. Of course, I rolled it down here. I rolled a 9 to a 6. So he hits. 5 dice. It has 5 armor, so we just did 2 damage. He's down to 38. Try to remove stun. We didn't. 2, 4, turn over. 2, 4. I gotta check to see, is it really difficult terrain? No, but we gotta do weather. It's not difficult terrain, but we do have to do weather. So let's see, the cat would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4. So this looks like there's a ledge here. So we'll at least go there. And I'm at least gonna move the paladin in, because she can at least take hits. 9 to 5, paladin misses. Then we're gonna try to shoot with our archer here. Ooh, so that should mean I get to roll 2 extra damage dice. That's the case there. So instead of rolling 4 dice, I'm gonna roll 6. And then do 2 hits. It's down to 36. And then the wizard, I don't think we can do anything with. So next turn. Okay, the ogre. It basically says on his turn, he's going to roll 1d6 to target a random adjacent enemy. Enemy that dealt most damage last turn. Enemy with the lowest agility. Enemy which is easiest to hit, etc. So, to determine his target, he rolled a 6. So he's going to do a random enemy. So this is 2. This is 1, 2, and 3. 1. He's going to attack the water elemental. So here we go. He rolls a 5. Water elemental rolls a 5. Water elemental wins. Then he's going to attack again. A 9 to a 4. None of those were a 6, so he doesn't hit. Then again, none of those were a 6, so I don't even need to roll. Okay, so our turn. The water elemental rolls a 7. He rolls a 7. And this is the last turn the water elemental is alive. The water elemental does hit. And he hits for 6 dice. Oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Okay, so then the lion, I forgot, since he's engaged, we can move behind him like this. So the lion's gonna roll 2. We rolled a 7 to his 6. So the lion gets to roll 5 dice. That's 2 more hits. Paladin is gonna move behind. Roll 2 dice. Got a 7. To his 11, Paladin misses. Oh my gosh, we rolled a 12. He critically failed again. So with that 12, the barbarian normally rolls 6 dice, so now he's rolling 8. And it's a -1 to the armor, so the armor is down to 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. The barbarian finally earned some cred. And then we can move the elf or the hobbit in. Have him roll 6 to 9. That's a miss. And then we have our archer. That's a hit. And it's for 5 dice because we rolled a 6. It's 2 more damage. He's down 2 more. Okay, so it's his turn. He's going to roll a d6. He rolls a 3. And that says enemy with the lowest agility. So he's attacking the paladin this round. So he rolled 2 dice. 7 to 7, we win. 7 to 9, we added 5, so we're at 12. He added 3, he's at 12. We have a shield, we win. And then 6 to 5, we win that as well. Okay, the water elemental goes away. So we're going to have to, and my apologies, I would have moved my mage up because my mage has been doing nothing every round. I would have moved it up so I can cast a water elemental right next to me because that's the way the rules work. And yes, we're going to roll our 2 dice and then boom, water elemental's back and it gets to attack this turn. It just can't move. So we're going to roll for the water elemental, an 8 to an 8. Water elemental wins and it does 6 dice. 2 damage. Then we're going to do our archer here. That's a hit. 4 dice for 2 more damage. Let's do Mr. Hobbit. It's a 10 to a 2, and we get to roll 1 extra die for damage. That's 1 hit. Do Mr. Barbarian, 5 to 4, he hits. And he rolls 6 dice with -1 armor. 1, 2, 3 hits. Paladin is a 5 to a 7. 5 plus 5 is 10. 7 plus 3 is 10. Paladin has a shield. So he wins. So Paladin is going to roll 5 dice. 2 more hits. And then the Lion. 3 to 3. Lion wins. So Lion's going to roll 5 dice and does 3 more hits. Okay, Ogre goes, or whatever his name is. He's going to attack a random person. There's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them around him. So I'm going to just roll again. That's the Water Elemental. So he does have a critical hit there. So that's an 8 to the Water Elemental's 3. So he does hit the Water Elemental. And it's going to be 9 dice. So Water Elemental has 3 armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits on the Water Elemental. It has 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And since we've cast the Water Elemental, we did score a point. So now he's going to attack again. Oh my gosh. Water Elemental. So he gets to roll 9 dice again. Yep, he's going to kill the Water Elemental. 1, 2. Yep. Water Elemental's dead. That's really impressive. So now, who's he going to attack next? 1, 2, it's the Barbarian. He rolled a 5. We rolled a 3, but he has 5, so that's 8 for him. It's an 8-8 tie. They're tied on agility. Barbarian just wins by default. So new round. We're going to go ahead and do our Archer. That's not going to cut the mustard. Our Magic User. What are we going to do? We cast our Ice Arrows twice. We do have Treacherous Waters. Target and all enemies in the spell's OE, you must pass an agility test or else be stunned. That doesn't do anything. I want to do damage. I can use a mana potion, but that's going to cost me how much to get it back? 4? Yeah, I think I'm going to wait. So now we're going to go ahead and just do Mr. Hobbit here. Oh, come on. Critical fail. His weapon did not break, thank goodness. By the way, when I was picking my weapons, I did look at that. I didn't want weapons that were easy to break, because at some point you are going to roll double ones. And it's going to always be at a time when you don't want to. So here we go. Barbarian. 7 to 6, Barbarian wins. And I always forget, but it's 4 plus 2. 6 dice with a -1 armor. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the Barbarian's finally earning his pudding. So 5 for the Paladin. 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 plus 5 is 10. Paladin misses. And then the Lion rolled an 8 with a 6 in there. Oh, he rolled double ones. I got it backwards, but you know what I mean. So he got a critical hit, the Lion did, and there's a critical miss. There's nothing else to break for this thing. I guess you can maybe roll to see if his armor breaks or something. I don't even think that's possible. So the Lion normally rolls 5. Instead, we're going to roll 6. So 1, 2, 3 hits. Okay, so now it's his turn. He's going to roll his die. He's rolling an random enemy. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's attacking the Lion. He got a 6. We got a 9. First one's a miss. He got a 5 to a 10. Second one's a miss. He got a 5 to a 7. He missed all 3 times. We are getting really lucky. Okay, let's do our peanut butter archer time. Way no. That missed. Okay, let's do our hobbitses. 8 to 5. We hit. And that does not hit. He's rolling 11. One of them's a crit to 7. So we do hit. We have to roll 6 dice. Actually, 7 dice with armor -1. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits on this guy. And he is summarily dead. Wow. That's a pretty tough battle. That could have gone much worse for us. We do get 3 points, which puts us over the edge. We're at 24. He's at 21. Those spells really did the trick. And then, of course, the fact that we're taking down a red guy gives us 3 points. Had he hit us and caused us to use fortune points, he could have easily scored those 3 points and then the 4th point necessary to beat us. It's just that he kept missing. And so, and then, of course, the water elemental took out things. And that's fine. We didn't care if the water elemental died. So we get to roll 10 dice because you use his strength or his intelligence, whichever is higher. So I'm talking about the corpse roll here. So we're going to roll 10 dice for just him. And then the 3 spiders makes it 13 dice. So we're going to roll 13 dice. And gosh darn it, I rolled 1 6 in that whole fray. But we do get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to get 9 gold for it. So I'm going to go ahead and take 10. Give 1 back. So we found 9 gold for it. And then the 1 6 means we get just a random common piece of crap. So I'm pulling one out right now. I got a vigorous mead. +1 to the user's strength during this turn. And the next 3 also recovers 1. We'll give that to like the dwarf. It's not a bad one for him. We didn't take a lot of damage. The spiders were sort of easy, sort of. We are never going to leave again without buying these 2 items, the rope and the pickaxes, because that trap was nasty, nasty, nasty. I apologize for the retcon, but I'm not going to have a character die because I just didn't prepare enough. This game has so many silly things for sale. I don't know which ones are worth getting. These 2 are worth getting. We could have afforded it. I will do it. And then I can't even imagine doing this battle with half my party. Because they couldn't make it across that pit. This was a tough mission. There's definitely an asterisk on this in several places. But the final battle, I just got lucky. Those dice rolls could have gone very much the other way. But we get 3 experience points. Everybody does. So we got leveling up to do. Now the number of everybody has 4 experience points except for the barbarian because we went to that combat training and we spent the money. So some of these folks have even 1 extra experience point. But this is awesome. We win the day, and then we're gonna head back to. Yep, we're gonna go ahead and save this because we won. Return to my maps. And then we'll go to the campaign manager. And for our campaign data, right now we're at 17. And we just beat mission 10. Our group value points. Are 66, not 56. Okay, so here we are. We just beat this mission. We're gonna go ahead and delete it. The marker doesn't disappear unless you refresh the screen, I think. So let's try that. There we go. All right, so you can see here, we didn't need to move into this area to the left. We could literally have just moved straight north to here. So that's what we're gonna do this time. So we're gonna go back. Now you could say that we're not on the road because we went from terrain to terrain. We weren't walking along the road. So I gotta draw a plains card. But we're gonna go ahead and just roll a die here. And I rolled a 4. And is that enough for a plains card? That's the part I gotta check. Nope, I needed a 5. So no event, but we gotta remember to remove all these guys. So this guy is getting really close to us. Okay, so we have to deal with the bridge, but we're gonna go use our free movement to go into town. The bridge is just don't roll a 1. I'm sorry, it wasn't that. It was, we had to roll a persuasion check. So, there we go. I just needed to get a 3. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's this thing. You have to do an intelligence check against the guards, and you need a 4. My apologies, you need a 4. So we rolled a 6 there, and that's not even adding your intelligence to it. Okay, and so now we're in a town where our home is. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not where we were supposed to go. We were supposed to go to Barak. My apologies. We were supposed to go here, to Barak. It's still just one move, and it's the same terrain. We just didn't have to roll for the bridge. So when we go to Barak, we got to get out our mission book. And it says to read T5, I believe. See, what else does it say? If we travel to Barak, the governor will reward you with 10 coins each. Yeah, so we get 50 coins. Which, that's a huge help to get 50 coins for that. After a remarkable deed, you feel skillful enough to face any kind of creature. It's a feat you'll be asked to narrate in every tavern. Read Narrative Nexus T5. So go to T5. You're resting in the tavern on the road. A person approaches you cautiously. So he's giving us 2 more missions. And I'm just going to go ahead and add them here. M5 and M21. Okay, so M21 starts a new campaign. I don't know if you recall in my very first video, this campaign book actually has 3 campaigns in it. We started with the campaign that starts out in Vernick, which of course is the beginner one. M21 actually launches another campaign. And there's nothing stopping you from working on all 3 campaigns, all as one mega adventure. So it's there. You know, we can go to M21, but we can also go to M5. And then we just do M21 later. Just understand that M21 is a new campaign. The gist of the 3 campaigns, by the way, is this is like you can see this is the Taishang Empire. The new campaign is going to start here in this region in the south. And then there's a 3rd campaign. I can't remember where exactly it starts, but I think it's going to involve the Kingdom of Khmer more. So right now we're we're dealing with a lot of stuff over here on the left, and I think this guy over here on the right is eventually going to be a problem child for us. But yeah, so I could try to look up where these are. So let's do that. We have a whole bunch of missions now that are actually available. So the M34 should be still on the map. The M21 is here. So that's mission 21. And then mission 5 is here. And right here is our home. So that all that stuff gets saved on there. That's pretty cool. I think this can get beefed up a little bit better, but it is very cool. And by the way, we're at week 14 now because it took us a week to travel back and hand in this stuff. So we're in this town. We can. I don't think we can learn a new spell, but we can gain a skill. So let's do that. I'm going to do that, and then I'm calling it a night here. How far are we in our recording? We are at 51 minutes. Actually, we're doing pretty good. So, although that was an hour to kill, just do one battle. Let's head back to the app. So we look at your heroes here. We're going to be leveling them up again. So I can try to store up the pips so I can raise them up by a value, but I still want to get them more skills. So I'm going to look real quick at each one because we have to remember what they got last time. So for example, I got Giant Tamer, which you have to be at a special place to be able to recruit giants, which I don't think we found one of those yet. I probably just need to look on the map for one. Let's see, there's kennel and breeding ground, but that's not where the giants come from. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. I know it's in the... I'm pulling out the rule book again. On the book again, just can't wait to be on the book again. All right. Mercenaries and pets, character creation. Oh, come on. I thought it was right here. I know I read it somewhere. Where the heck did I read it? All right, I gotta pause. Okay, so Giant Tamer, and I gotta flip back one more time to the campaign manager. We have to find what's called a sacred location. One of these spots right here. So a Giant Tamer, if we find this spot, we can recruit a giant there. And it shows it here. There's all this nonsense, but at the bottom, creatures for sale. So you can get a tree giant if it's in the forest, or a stone or iron giant if it's in the mountain or volcanic. And here's a tree giant, for example. His cost is 50 coins. But he's pretty awesome. He has 20 health points, and he joins you in every mission. Then the magic user at the start of every turn has to, I think, roll a die. If they roll poorly, then they have to pay a mana. And then the giant doesn't move. But as long as they don't roll poorly, then the giant will move and attack and act just like any other creature. So it's sort of like a control thing. The giant doesn't ever rebel against you, it just doesn't listen to your orders. And then here's a stone giant. And again, that's 15 health. It has 8 strength, so not real good at hitting, but once it does hit, it does a lot of damage. The forest giant had better hitting, and it also had 8 strength. So actually the forest giant seems to be better in almost every... Oh, the stone giant has better armor. And then there's this iron giant, which is as good as anybody, but it's only usable by wizards and runic masters. And our wizard didn't take it. It was actually the forest dude who has it. So thematically, the forest giant would be the best. So this here is in the mountains, so you would think that's a stone giant one. And then here's another one, also in the hills, it looks like. Or could, yeah, because look, that's mountains. So there's one there, that's a lot closer. Where's more? And here's one here. And that's considered mountains as well. So those are 3 sets of stone giants. Where else is there one? It's actually hard to look at the screen and... Oh, there's one right here. What the heck would that one be? I guess that's neither mountains or forest. So that would mean that there's nothing for sale there. That's what it means. Or you can't get a giant there. You can get other stuff. You just can't do a giant. So, oh, here's one. So if we want to get a forest giant, all we have to do is go here to Wild Boar Forest, and right there. So I took that skill a while ago. We should probably have done that, but you know, it is what it is. And then now if we start moving that way, all these dang danger tokens are going to run into us, and whatever happens from that, I have no clue, but we would have to deal with that. So before I went off on that tangent, it's important to know how to get the giants, of course, because I took the giant tamer skill and we haven't used it worth a darn. So that's, you know, Jeff's fault. But we want our elf here to improve his skills, right? So he's got sharp senses, taming animals, battle wizard, scout, and then of course giant tamer. But see the symbol? That's the symbol right there. When we level up the forester, we have to roll a die. And you can see here we rolled a 5 or a 6 or a 3 or a 4. So if we roll a 3 or a 4 again, that means we can take any skill we want from any of the areas. So the magic is the one that we've rolled previously. If I roll a 5 to a 6, then I got to take a subterfuge or whatever that's called. But if I roll another magic, then I get to pick anything I want. That's the biggest thing I just wanted to go over before we rolled this die. And, oh boy, I just spilled a bunch of stuff. Sorry, I'm just cleaning that up real quick. Okay, so I'm looking at the camera. Yep, I'm making sure you guys can still see everything and hear me. All right, so let's roll. We're gonna roll for, so I rolled a 1, which means that we have to get we're gonna get a new skill, and it's gonna be one of these skills, which is good. This is exactly what we want. I mean, we're an archer, so we can roll 1 extra damage die when we use ranged weapons. That's really good. Aiming. Use while shooting. You may repeat 1 die in your hitting roll as long as the roll is not a critical failure and provided you didn't move. And you can use it with defending shots. So basically you get to roll 1 of your dice. So if I roll like a 6 and a 1, you know, that's a 7. And normally, I guess I would hit in that case, but I could re-roll like the 1 and hope to get something higher. Expert archer, you can perform a defending shot with a longbow. I have the elven bow, so I'm not as worried. Expert shooter, you can move up to half your movement and no longer suffer a penalty. That's pretty good. Fast shooting, you may shoot twice in a turn, as long as you don't move. Remembering that turning is not regarded as movement. However, your archery is reduced by 1. That's a really good one. Getting 2 attacks in. Heartseeker. Character hits a target with a range attack. He may repeat all results of 1 while rolling for damage. So basically you get to re-roll your 1s. I think they're all good. I actually think the fast shooting is a must-have because you get to attack twice. But before then, getting 1 extra damage die is good too. Because when you do hit, I get to roll 5 dice instead of 4. That's nothing to sneeze about. Although you could argue if you're fast shooting, you're going to get to roll 8 dice. But that's assuming you hit both times, which isn't always guaranteed. And the fast shooting requires you to not move. So for that reason, I'm going to take accurate shooting. So accurate shooting is done. And now we get an extra damage. And that, I think that's gonna really, really help the elven bow to be more deadly. Okay, so 1 character down, and their VP, by the way, is 14. I don't know if I can change that here. There we go. Hopefully that saves. Let's come back. Yep, VP is 14. Because she's leveled up twice now. And what would be really cool is if I go to a quest map, so you keep saying that the hero's VP is 10, but if I add Armor, that should jump up to 20. There it is. Look, it worked. It added 14 points. That's awesome. Okay, so we know how to control that now, finally. Let's go to our heroes. Next one up is our mage. Last time we earned a spell, but this time I think we want a skill. So let's see if we can get a skill that helps out our mage. We may actually want a spell because I was sitting there with nothing to do. So let's look at our skills real quick because I don't know if I necessarily want to do this, although we're forced to take that last water skill, which is not the greatest of skills. But man, oh man, wouldn't it be nice to get like a fireball or something? So let's assume I get a magic skill. Are any of these really going to be helpful to me? You get +1 on persuasion rolls. Experienced wizard. Technically, I'm not supposed to get giant taming with 2 of my characters. Recovering mana. And then that lets you, once per game, you can, this is like, basically, it's like having a mana potion. You can take 1 mana token away from 2 cards of spells already cast, which means you get to cast them again. So I could be able to cast, a 3rd time. Otherwise, I'm getting this here. I'm going to get Crushing Wave, which is another attacking spell. You know what? That's really what I should do. It'll cost me 10 coins, but I get another spell, and that does add 2 more mana to the pool. Now, I do have to go back home to do that, because I think the city we're in doesn't let us learn that spell. But I'm going to go ahead and take care of paying for everything now, and then we'll take care of the movement after all this is done. So yeah, I would have liked to have gotten him a skill, but the spell was the right thing to do. So we now have Ice Arrow and Crushing Wave. You know, I was really like worried that I needed a healing spell with him. But I don't. And he now has 14 mana, which is great. Okay, so now we move to the Halfling. We're going to do 14. And then for the skills, we added probably the last one here. Nope, it isn't. Oh my gosh, did I forget to add his skill? He has Expert Trapper, which is one of these. Okay, so can I put in 3 and 3? Oh, yeah, I can. Now, granted, it's based on different conditions, but still. Okay, so we're going to add another skill to this guy. The last one was a subterfuge type of skill. And I'm trying to find my card for this character. I don't know where it went. What on earth would I have done with it? It's not underneath the camera board. Oh, I got it just laying here on top of the wizards. So here we go, the Halfling. We don't care about that part. So if I roll a 4 to a 6, I get to pick anything I want. And I just rolled a 1. So that means I have to take a Courage skill. So which one? Fast attack, force, hardy, lethal shot, quick reload, tough, 2-weapon fighting, tricky fighter. Actually, don't know which one of these we would even want to do. Can do fast attacks. I mean, he doesn't do a lot of attacks. He rolls 2 dice when he does finally damage somebody. Boy, we got a bad one here. I don't even know if any of these are even helpful. If a character gets a result of doubles while attacking or defending, he will automatically stun an opponent. Yeah, this is bad. We wanted anything that would help us with traps and... I mean, if we had we can always get a bow for him, I guess, and give him something that helps him out. His shooting skill is pretty poor, though. Gosh, I don't even know which one to take. Like, I have buyer's remorse right now. If the defender rolls doubles and wins the combat, he's considered a foreseen attack and managed to hit his attacker instead. Roll for damage. That's interesting, but I don't even know if I'll remember to use it. We can do hatred towards a character. I don't know who to hate, but... Oh, and you got to remember, we can't take everything. We only take what is eligible for him, and I think they're already sorted because there's certain skills that aren't showing up here. So thank you, game developers. For example, there's a card here in this area that would let you wear armor with -1 movement. This doesn't show up because these are only the ones that the rogue can have. So I would do Tricky Fighter, but we have a minimum intelligence of 4. If you roll doubles and manage to hit, target's armor will be reduced by 1. This means the character was skilled enough to find his weak point. Sure. Or we can do 2 weapons. No. Yeah, this one was a bit of a waste, but it is how the rules work. So now we go to the dwarf, and we took the training one last time. So let's roll for the dwarf. I ended up rolling a 6. So you know what that's going to mean. He has to take a subterfuge. That's going to be an interesting selection for him. So let's make sure that because I know I added his skills. Yep, there it is, combat instructor. So he ended up rolling one of these. So these are the ones he gets to choose from. I'm quite shocked that there's a whole bunch of them here. A thief. Character has a great ability to discover the most hidden possessions, may repeat results of 1 or 2 when searching corpses. It doesn't matter who searches corpses. So even though you would think the rogue is the thief, we could make the barbarian the thief. I mean, especially if there's no other good one here. I mean, that's helpful. You know, being able to improve your chances of rolling 6s or at least getting more money, that's a good one. Doesn't help you win battles. Links. Yeah, we're never rolling for initiative with him. Lucky, fast. I keep forgetting you can run. You could run, folks. You don't have to just move your base movement. We could have been running through that dungeon. Climber, cat reflexes, ambush. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take thief. I'm getting a bunch of semi-useless skills here with these level ups. All right. Then we got our paladin here who has... The last one that we got was Combat Master. So let me change that to 14. And then let's hit the skills. And what are we going to get here for the Paladin? I rolled a 3. The Paladin, we can pick anything we want. The world is our oyster. So the question is what does the Paladin need? Paladin's pretty darn good. Right there, giant killer would have been nice, right? Oh, we forgot to do our fear rolls every time we attack that giant. There's always something I screw up in this game. This is one of the reasons, it's my criticism of this game. There's too many ways to screw up. It's too many rules. It really is. It's just too much. This needs to be a video game. This is not a board game. And I know I've I've chatted with some folks on Facebook that says this is the perfect game. I disagree. I mean, maybe it's perfect because it has all the rules. I do agree with that. Maybe it's perfect because it implements dungeons the way they're supposed to be. I don't know. So here's my thing. That whole safe zone, and you draw a trap card when you go out of the safe zone, that is a perfect dungeon crawl rule. In fact, every dungeon crawl who's ever come before this missed it. They screwed up. This is the perfect dungeon crawl rule. That whole safe zone, you draw a trap. Every time you open a door, you draw to see if somebody spawns. I mean, the fact that you don't know what's around the corner, this is like the best game ever at recreating of not knowing what's around the corner. And the whole reason, like, you need to have this equipment, right? Because you never know if there's going to be a pit that you need to climb over. It's an amazing game from that perspective. But man, oh man, the rules are too much. And yeah, I'm struggling. There's a lot in here that we can take. Swordmaster is the one I'm thinking of. You get 1 extra melee attack for every critical impact you get. And I totally never even used the last one because you had to be next to 2 creatures, which we were. We were next to the 2 spiders. I had an extra attack with my paladin. Oh, that's another rule I missed. But that's actually a drawback of having too many skills. All right, before I make that decision, we can pick anything we want. So is there something over here that the paladin needs that would help it? Very little, to be quite honest. And then if we go to this one, first aid was always one that attracted me, but I don't know as much about the use of it. There's actually not a lot to choose here. So we do want this one. And I think I want the Swordmaster. And there you go. That's our heroes, all leveled up. No place to go. We go to the campaign manager. I need to get back home so we can learn our spell. So I would move to here, which moves us to week 15. We are going to get intercepted by this thing. And then these ones all move. Bing, bing, and bing. Okay, so I'm going to come back up. We got to resolve this. Yep, we're going to remove the marker. And then if you can look here, there's a deck of cards here we've never used. We need to draw one. I'm just shuffling a little bit. Here we go. Empty marker. False alarm. There was actually no danger. Ha! I bet we drew the only lucky card in that whole thing. Let's draw a different one. I'm not going to resolve it, but let's just see what it... Nope. I'm sorry, there's another empty marker in here. All right, let's look at the whole deck. Empty marker, curse, spy, empty marker, thief, assassin. Well, there's a lot of empty markers. So let's look at spy, for example. If he wins, all danger markers will advance 1 square towards the... Okay, so they're not all super bad. Some of them are actually nothing burgers, like that one. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. There can only ever be 10 of them on the board, by the way. Another rule we're going to forget. But, okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and move forward. We're going to go to week 16. And we have to do our persuasion check on the bridge, which I don't even think I could fail. And then we're going to go into town. But before that happens... Move, move. Is that all one zone? Nope, that's two. Move and move. And then we're gonna go ahead and roll. I think it's one for each character. Here's 2 dice. I rolled a 6. That means one spawning. Well, actually, I think it's 1 per 5 or 6 that you roll. So here's 3, 4, and 5. So 3 of them are spawning. So 1. 2, 3. And I should look that up. I'm sort of guessing right now, but I think that if I remember, that is what it's supposed to be. It's every time you stay at an inn, which I'm assuming counts as home. Every time you decide to rest at an inn or an equivalent place, which is like your home, you roll 1d6 for every 10 VP the group of heroes has. For each result of a 6, a danger marker goes on. Okay, they've only rolled 1 so far. We've rolled 5 dice. We're 5 times 14, so 5 times 4 is 20. So that's 70. So every 10 points. So we're rolling 7 dice. We got to roll 2 more. And look at that. 1, 2, 3. We put 3 markers out because I knew they were coming. So I almost had it right. It's 1 die per 10 VP, and we're up to 70 now. So, okay, we're home. We don't have to pay any money, but we do have to pay for the lion, which is $4. So here's $5, and we're going to get $1 back. And we are sitting on $53. That's fine. We can do things in the town. I think I'm going to call it. I don't. We did the leveling up. I already paid for the spell, which is one of the things we can do in this town. I don't think there's anything else I necessarily want to do. Maybe the combat instructor, so we can get another experience point. But beyond that, I'm tired. This is an exhausting game, especially to record it. And the app has saved me time, but it is also cumbersome too. So anyways, I like the game. I wish 4 of you would join me. Like, this is something I want to play with other people. Now, granted, you're all going to create characters that'll make me cringe because you're not min-maxing like I try to do. But, I mean, my gosh, I know if even just 1 or 2 of you was in this room with me, you'd be like, hey, you just rolled a 6, so you get an extra damage die. Or, hey, don't forget to do whatever. Or don't forget to roll the encounter die. I mean, heck, one of you is going to pick up the encounter die and roll it yourself. So that way I'll never forget. I mean, that's like a huge savings. Or even one of you is pick up the rule book and look up that dang rule so I'm not looking it up for the 15th time. That makes this game go so much smoother for me. And I know, like, some people are like, well, that's why you want to control less characters, right? So screw that. This game is fun with 5 characters. If I'm only playing with 2 characters, what fun is that? The fun of this is having 5. But everything else, though, is cumbersome. And it's largely because it's just me. I don't know if I can finish a whole campaign, folks. This is asking a lot of my time and energy. I mean, normally it's like, well, are you having fun, Jeff? Yeah, I am. So then why wouldn't you want to play it for a whole campaign? Well, for now, there's no other game to get out. So, I mean, I do have Altar Quest that I can get out again because I have been playing that lately, and I've also got a lot of painted miniatures, which I want to show. I have Stars of Ikarios, which the only reason you don't see that one is because we're playing a campaign of it right now, and I can't tear it down to show you. you know, I got other games that are going to potentially be coming. I just don't know what they would be. But anyways, very interesting. It's very, very fun. I don't dislike this game. I'm just exhausted from it. I don't feel like I had a relaxing day. Let's just put it that way. I mean, it's fun, but it didn't feel relaxed. I very much just have this urge. I just want to go load up Baldur's Gate on my computer, and then I don't have to worry about like rolling dice and all this other stuff. All I have to worry about is moving my characters and what spell are they going to cast, and you know, those kind of things. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and stay awesome.